98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR and GorgeRadio.com presents the Mid-Columbia Today Show with Mark Bailey. Special thanks to our sponsors, Skyline Hospital and Del Carpine Automotive. Now, here's Mark Bailey.
8:04 in the morning. Good morning. Mark Bailey, Cameron Eisenberg producing this morning on a Thursday, August the 27th, headed toward the end of the week. Here's what we're doing today. First part of the show, Dan Kenealy is going to join us, Columbia Gorge Orchestra Association Choir Director and Artistic Committee Chair, and we're going to preview their upcoming season. The Big Band Collective is going to get things started just a couple weeks from now. They've got an event planned, and we will talk about that. Second half of the program, we are going to be joined by President of Columbia Gorge Community College. Dr. Kenneth Lawson is going to be here, and he will be with us in studio. And we will talk about the college and probably some fiscal things like that, how enrollment, at least what they're expecting enrollment to be. Kind of hard to say with fall registration going on for the upcoming year, but we'll talk about how things are going for the college. And we'll do all that in MCT over the course of the next little less than an hour of radio and podcast time. A reminder, of course, that if you have to leave us, but you want to make sure you catch everything, you can just always subscribe to us. Our podcast is available at wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Mid-Columbia Today, and or you go to our Facebook page. We put the show up there now, the link to the podcast every morning, and you can check that out, and you can click there, and they'll be able to provide you with a way to get your subscription. And again, eventually, if you subscribe, it just ends up in your mobile device every morning. After the show's over, we get it up there, try to get up there within 20 to 30 minutes when the program ends. So by about 9:30, you've got it with you. But I digress. Moving on to what we usually do, which is what this day has meant and what it means at least to some people. This day in 1883, the island volcano Krakatoa erupted with a series of cataclysmic explosions. The explosions that could be heard 3,000 miles away, reportedly, resulting in tsunamis in Indonesia's Sunda Strait, claimed some 36,000 lives in Java and Sumatra. 1894, Congress passed the Wilson-Gorman Tariff Act, which contained a provision for a graduated income tax that was later struck down by the Supreme Court. 1964, the film Mary Poppins had its world premiere in Los Angeles. 1979, British war hero Lord Louis Mountbatten and 3 other people, including his 14-year-old grandson Nicholas, were killed off the coast of Ireland in a boat explosion claimed by the Irish Republican Army. 1982, Rickey Henderson of the Oakland A's stole his 119th base of the season, breaking Lou Brock's single-season stolen base record. Henderson would finish the season with a still unmatched 130 stolen bases. 1990, blues musician Stevie Ray Vaughan and 4 others were killed in a helicopter crash near East Troy, Wisconsin. 2001, Israeli helicopters fired a pair of rockets through office windows, killing senior PLO leader Mustafa Zivri. 2005, coastal residents jammed freeways and gas stations as they rushed to avoid Hurricane Katrina, which was headed toward New Orleans. It's one of those things, it's hard to believe it's been over 20 years since that happened. 2008, Barack Obama was nominated for president by the Democratic National Convention in Denver, becoming the first black presidential nominee from a major political party. In 2011, Hurricane Irene made landfall in the U.S. The storm will be responsible for 49 total deaths and over $14 billion in damage. Our days for today, for some reason, it's National Petroleum Day today. There was no explanation for it, so I can't offer anything besides that. It is Just Because Day. Do it just because. It's Kiss Me Day today. It's Tarzan Day today. Apparently this day in 1917, I think it was, is when Tarzan was first mentioned. It was in a publication of short stories, a magazine. And the story of Tarzan began, apparently, there. It is Thoughtful Thursday. You really should be thoughtful every day, but in particular today, apparently. And it's also World Rock, Paper, Scissors Day today. Or if you want to expand it, world, rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. Which just adds the options and makes it easier to break ties. I can only know that from an episode of Big Bang Theory. I would have no other reason to know this. But apparently this was, quote, an improvement on rock, paper, scissors. Many of us don't have the finger dexterity to throw Spock, by the way, because it was the live long and prosper sign. I wouldn't have the dexterity to do that at my age. And finally, our food for today is National Banana Lovers Day today. I'm always good for bananas. Bananas are good. We had Banana Split Day just the other day. So now we're just going to focus in on, actually not necessarily the banana, but those who love bananas. I'm not sure I love bananas. I like them. They're very good. So I'm not sure I qualify here. But there it is for what it's worth. May not be a whole lot. 8:10 in the morning when we come back. Columbia Gorge Orchestra Association. Dan Kenealy joins us right after this.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's easy to take simple conveniences for granted. Ever feel overwhelmed while running kids to sports practice, the store, and doctor's appointments? What if you didn't have transportation? Many of our Gorge neighbors face this challenge every day, and now you can help with Bicoastal Media's Wheels of Hope, presented by C.H. Ernest Motors. This fall, we'll hand over the keys to a 2015 Nissan Sentra. If you know of a local family that has fallen on hard times and needs a vehicle, you can help by nominating them. Nominate a vehicle-challenged family today at gorgeradio.com. Make a difference in the lives of others in our community. Wheels of Hope also supported by A&E Plumbing, Heating and Air, Walmart of the Gorge, Pioneer Appliance, Columbia Cascade Housing Corporation, Skyline Health, Sinclair, WAGAP, Bimart, and Pee-wee's Auto Detail. Visit gorgeradio.com to see how you can make a difference with Wheels of Hope.
Mid-Columbia Today is a public affairs program of Bicoastal Media Columbia River, 98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR and GorgeRadio.com. Now, back to Mark Bailey.
And we're back at 8:12 in the morning on Mid-Columbia Today. We're now joined on the telephone by from the Columbia Gorge Orchestra Association, their choir director and artistic committee chair. That's Dan Kenealy. Good morning, Dan.
Morning, Mark. How are you?
All right, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm hoping it's a Mary Poppins kind of day and not a volcano kind of day today. So,
well, especially because we actually are surrounded by volcanoes where we live. You're absolutely right there. One we know is active, and I guess they're both active around here, but we've got a lot of proof on the one in particular. But Gorge Orchestra Association 26-27 season's going to be coming up, and it sounds like, first of all, you're going to have a new website.
Yes, we have a new website launching on September 1st. So just doing a redesign of our old website, trying to make things a little bit more user-friendly and also put some new information on there so people have access to all things CGOA.
And, of course, that means also that's when on the 1st of September you're going to have your tickets available for sale for everything that's coming up. And the first show of the season is coming up on September 10th, and this is going to be the highly popular Jazz Collective Big Band, and they've got a guest coming with them.
Yes, so they'll be, the Jazz Collective Big Band will be joined by the NOPO Big Band, North Portland Big Band. It's going to be at Twins at 7 o'clock. I went last year, and it was so fun. It was a great way to end the summer. Just a great night to get out, listen to some jazz, maybe do a little dancing if you're up for it.
So, you mentioned the dancing part with the big band. I see that seems to be a lot of the popularity is that at their events, people get up and move.
Oh yeah, we have a group of like swing dancers in this community. There's quite a few people who are really into it, and so obviously with the live music, it's that much more fun to get out and do it. You won't catch me doing it, but you will definitely see some people doing it.
So anyway, $15 for adults, and kids are free for this one. And now, are tickets on sale yet for this, or does it have to wait for the website?
They do have to wait for the website, unfortunately, but we will have them next week, so they'll be ready to rock and roll.
And that's going to be on the...
And then, of course, if there are some available, you can buy them at the door. But sometimes it does sell out before we even get to door sales. So I would say get on the website September 1st if you can.
And the one thing about, when the website gets going on September 1st, it's still gorgeorchestra.org. It's just going to be a new website. And
yeah, it's just a redesign.
It's a redesign of it. But I can tell you that I just got. I'm going to bring this up now because people are going to want to hear this. I just got this in the email. Hooter White Salmon Bridge Authority is reporting that they have completed their geotechnical exploration near the Washington shoreline ahead of schedule. All remaining overnight bridge closures scheduled for August and September have been canceled. So I know people wanted to hear that. There you go. So I forgive me, but I just got the email literally as we were talking here.
Oh, no, that makes all of us happy.
I figured it'd be okay for me to interrupt this interview with that. So now
of course.
I can get back to the interview here. One thing people are going to be able to do is get their full season memberships, and tell us about what a season membership does for when they join CGOA.
Yeah, so our individual memberships generally start at $50, and that gets you a discounted ticket for any concert. So generally, for most of our concerts, tickets are $25, but with the membership, it takes $5 off, so it's $20. We also have different levels. Seniors can also get a membership for $30, and if you wanted to support more, there are definitely different membership tiers that also come with different perks. So you'll be able to find all that information on the website as well. But an individual membership starts generally at $50, and that gets you a discount for the concerts. Yeah.
So give us a preview here. What are we looking at coming up this season?
Yeah, so the Jazz Collective actually has 5 concerts. So their first one is September 10th, and that's going to be at the Ruins. Gorge Sinfonietta has 3 concerts this year, and we're also really excited to be welcoming Lars Campbell to the Sinfonietta this season. So we have a new conductor, and he is really awesome. I think people are really going to enjoy listening to the orchestra under his leadership. He has a concert in November, and then also one in March, and then also in June, and lots of really cool things programmed. He's starting with a Landscape, which is going to have some Vaughan Williams, and then he also is doing a Russian Spring, which has some of my favorite composers. It has Rimsky-Korsakov, Shostakovich, and Tchaikovsky. That's going to be in March, and then he's ending with Storytelling, which is going to have William Grant Still, Maria Schneider, and that one's going to be in June. So really looking forward to seeing what Lars does with the orchestra this season. And then on my end, for Voci, we have 3 concerts this season as well. So we have Snowy Vistas in December, and that one's going to be at Valley Christian Church. And if you've come to that one before, there's always a sing-along component. It's always a great way to celebrate the holiday season. In March, we're going to do in April, we're going to do a timeline concert. So it's time and transformation, so doing music all the way from the medieval era up through modern compositions. And then we're ending in June with Voices Unbound, which is going to be celebrating underrepresented composers. So we're really looking forward to that as well. Lots of exciting things there. And then Stages is going to be doing a musical production in May at Columbia Center for the Arts. So the first 3 weekends in May. So auditions for that will be happening probably around February, and then they're excited to get that going up in May. So we have a lot of really exciting things coming up for CGOA this season. Has
the production for Stages been picked yet?
It is narrowed down to 2,
okay.
And I think it's okay for me to tell you the 2 that we're considering. The 2 that I have heard being tossed around are Into the Woods, which would be very exciting, or Come From Away. So they're both excellent shows. So I would assume it will be one of those 2, but keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, with the choir, because you are the choir director of Voci Community Choir, I'd be interested to know, what is it do you have to do to kind of to plan a performance? People get to see the end product where everybody gets up and sings, but what does it take to put together a show with a theme like the ones that you have?
Yeah, well, it's definitely a lot of planning. And actually, I was just doing that with our accompanist this past week. So we just kind of, basically, I pulled up a list of, 25 songs that I felt kind of fit the theme, and then our accompanist pulled up 25 songs that they think fits the theme, and then we just whittle it down to try and find a pretty cohesive program that has a lot of balance. We always look for kind of a combination of fast and slow music and various styles. It's kind of like you get a little smorgasbord of all the musical styles there. So it's a pretty time-consuming process, but also a really fun one. It's a great way for me to discover new music in the process.
And again, the first choir concert, Voce Community Choir, that's going to be at the holidays, right?
Yes, it'll be in December. It's going to be at Valley Christian Church. Yeah.
So again, all the information is going to be available September 1st at gorgeorchestra.org from the big band concerts to the Sinfonietta to the choir. What's going to be there, as you mentioned, new conductor for the Sinfonietta that is going to be performing. But it sounds like it's going to be another very busy year for the Columbia Gorge Orchestra Association.
Yes, it is. Yeah, when we just we add some new events, and then sometimes things become a new tradition. I mean, one of my favorite ones is the one that happens at the Toyota dealership with the Jazz Collective. I remember playing it for that a few years ago, thinking, what's it going to be like playing in a car dealership? But it's actually a really great venue for listening to jazz. It's got great acoustics, and we're just so grateful for them for hosting the Jazz Collective at that event. That's always one of my favorites of the season.
Yeah, I think people are interested to know, how many performers are involved in this? Because they come from all walks of life from throughout the region, don't they?
Yes, definitely. We definitely have well over 100 performers, and it just keeps continuing to grow. And we certainly have a lot of the gorge represented. We have the Dalles, Hood River, White Salmon, and then we also have some members that come all the way in from Portland. So we're really grateful for all of our performers and all of our volunteers, of course, too. We also have a very large network of volunteers, and I would say for anyone who maybe would be interested in volunteering, we are always looking for people to volunteer. It's a great way also, if you wanted to check out a concert, if you volunteer to help with the concert, you do get admission to the concert, so that's always a great way to attend as well and help out.
So if someone wanted to volunteer to help with some of your events and with the Columbia Gorge Orchestra Association, I take it when the new website's up, there's ways for people to do that. Yes. And you know what? Our current website also does have that information. Okay. So if that was something you were just interested in looking at ahead of time, they can still go on to Gorge Orchestra. Gorge Orchestra is still live as at the moment. So all of that volunteer information and how to become a member is also still up and ready to go. If you just wait until September 1st, then you'll actually see what we have planned for the season for concerts. GorgeOrchestra.org, again, is the website. Again, there'll be a new look coming September 1st. We remind everybody, again, the end of summer Big Bands Royale with the Jazz Collective Big Band, joined by the North Portland Big Band. On September 10th, 7 to 9 in the evening at the Ruins in Hood River. It'll be $15 for adults. Kids will be free. And we should mention there are reduced price tickets available, Dan, through the Arts for All program. Yes. So if you have a SNAP EBT card, you can get $5 tickets, I believe. So that's a great opportunity as well for people who are needing that. So again, GorgeOrchestra.org is going to be a place to go. Everything will get unveiled on the 1st of September. Dan Kenealy has been with us. Dan, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Thanks, Mark. Have a good rest of the day. Have a good day. Appreciate you coming on. It's 8:24 in the morning on MCT. News is coming up next.
Coffee for Mid-Columbia Today guests is provided by Hood River Coffee Roasters, the Gorge's local coffee roasters, on Tucker Road on the Heights in Hood River.
8:26 in the morning on Mid-Columbia Today. Dr. Kenneth Lawson, the president of Columbia Gorge Community College, will join us after the news break here in a few minutes. But first, let's check the news. And we mentioned it during our last segment. Hood River White Salmon Bridge Authority finished its geotechnical exploration near the Washington shoreline ahead of schedule. Remember, they had a closure overnight? Well, there'll be no more closures. The ones they scheduled for late August into September, they have all been canceled now, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. Clickitat County Emergency Management overnight was able to reduce some evacuation levels issued as a result of a Wednesday evening fire near Avery Park. The area in the vicinity of Avery Park was reduced to level 2 Get Set early this morning after being at level 3 Go Now soon after the fire broke out in windy conditions near Wishram. Wishram Heights remaining at level 2. Lower Wishram dropped to level 1 Be Ready. The fire broke out about 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday. Crews from throughout the area responded to the fire, which early estimates put it 300 acres in size heading into the night. A hearing on proposed amendments to Clickitat County's ordinance governing standards for RV parks was continued to September 15th to allow Planning Director Scott Edelman to continue to get legal consultation on provisions for allowing waivers to the county's 60-day occupancy limitation to help alleviate workforce housing issues. Edelman noted there has been estimates of 500 to 2,500 long-term construction jobs coming to Clickitat County in the next 10 years as the proposed pump storage project, data centers, and wind and solar farms are constructed, and it's already a challenge for those that get the jobs in the county to find housing. Commissioners would like more specifics on how the limitation would actually be applied and criteria to consider. Washington and Oregon are among the states suing to block the Trump administration's latest attempt to restrict mail-in voting. The lawsuit comes days after the U.S. Supreme Court cleared the way for the administration's effort to move forward, at least for now. Washington and several other states previously sued over President Donald Trump's March executive order on mail-in voting. A lower court had blocked the order, but the Supreme Court lifted that injunction in an emergency ruling this week. The justice did not rule on whether the executive order is constitutional. Instead, they said the lower court's injunction was issued too early. The legal fight comes just over 2 months before the midterm elections. It can have a major impact in Oregon and Washington, where most voters cast ballots by mail or through drop boxes. Oregon's economy is catching up with the national economy after years of slower growth. That's according to Oregon's chief economist Carl Riccadonna and senior economist Michael Kennedy, who presented the latest state revenue forecast on Tuesday. The Oregon Capital Chronicle reports the economists say Oregon's economic output is now growing at about the same pace as the national economy. The improved outlook also means more money for state government. Revenue for the current 2-year budget period is up $55 million from the May forecast. Revenue for the 2027-29 budget cycle expected to be $538 million higher than previously projected. Combined, Kennedy says Oregon could have nearly $600 million additional dollars available as lawmakers prepare for the next legislative session in January. The increase is largely being driven by higher than expected personal income tax collections, which are offsetting a decline in corporate income taxes. Economists say the stronger personal income tax collections likely reflect higher wages rather than significant job growth. Oregon's employment growth remains relatively weak, although Riccadonna says that gap could begin to close. Currently, it's 61 degrees in Stevenson, 66 in the Dalles, 64 in Hood River, hitting 8:30 in the morning. More in Mid-Columbia Today right after this.
Hey, it's Zach from Del Carpino Automotive, where we specialize in keeping European rides happy. Audi, BMW, Mercedes, and even those tall Sprinter vans that look like hotels on wheels. We know them inside and out. And if you're wondering where we went, we didn't go far. We're just now 5 minutes from our old shop in our brand new location in the Upper Hood River. Same trusted crew, more space, and the same honest, family-owned service. Come see us at Del Carpino Automotive. European expertise and Columbia Gorge roots.
Mid-Columbia Today is a public affairs program of Bicoastal Media, Columbia River, 98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR and GorgeRadio.com. Now, back to Mark Bailey.
And it is 8:31 in the morning on MCT. We're happy to have with us in studio today the president of Columbia Gorge Community College, Dr. Kenneth Lawson. Good morning, Kenneth.
Well, good morning. Glad to be here.
Good to have
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Good to have you with us. Let's jump in here and just kind of start out with looking ahead. Fall term is going to start on the 21st of September, I think is what you told me. So I assume registration's underway.
That is correct. No, we are excited for another year to start. Our enrollment is actually looking really good right now. We've got wait lists on a lot of classes, so we're trying to figure out our schedule to make sure we can have accessible classes for everybody. But that's a good problem to have. We like it when folks are enrolling and excited about coming to college.
What was enrollment like for the last school year? I mean, I know it's hard for this fall. It's we're still in the process, so I know it's hard to tell. But for the last school year? What was it like?
We had some really good enrollment growth post-COVID, came back and exceeded where our enrollment was. We were around 900 full-time equivalent students the year before, and last year we dropped about 100 FTE. Most of that was in our dual enrollment program, which is mostly our high school students that get college-level credit by taking a high school class, because we have some of the high school faculty that are teaching college-level material and working with our faculty to do that. So there are various reasons for that drop, but we had about 100 FTE.
I was going to ask that to me, at least as an outsider, seems like an odd place to see a drop, because the supply of high schoolers always continues.
Yeah. I think we're seeing some demographic challenges just with that age group declining some. But really there were some just weird events, which one was our own processes we changed, because we want to make sure that those programs are well run and they're high quality. So we went through some kind of program restructure in order to make sure that they qualified for accreditation. So there was some systems changes that I think made it a little more difficult for faculty to go through those hoops. And then in addition, we had a couple of just really outstanding, in particular actually Hood River Valley High School faculty who retired, and they were some of our biggest generators of FTE. And so I honestly think that was a big piece of it.
So I think that's something you would expect to regenerate, though.
Yeah, 100%. And we've invested quite a bit actually in that program and in our relationships. I have a strong relationship with Bill Newton at the school district as the superintendent, and then also with the high school principals. And so we feel really good where we are, even though we've had some hiccups. It's not always been easy for our dual enrollment students to get their credits. We've had some problems with our student information system, and we're making some improvements there. So overall, I think the future is bright for that program, but it's taken a few years to kind of level set and get us to where we are right now, which I think is poised to really serve the need.
Well, I would think it would be a very popular one, because given the price of college, especially if someone who's going on planning to go to 4-year institutions, etc. I would think that the demand would be very high for getting the dual credit where it's available.
100%, yeah. So it is a great opportunity to for students to get a sense for what college level curriculum is like and college level learning. And they can do that in a really affordable way. And actually, too, especially for the college and the high school type programs, they can do it with their high school classmates. So it's not quite as intimidating right off the bat.
Sure.
So overall, it's a really affordable way to start getting some college level credits. And we're working hard, too, to make sure that ultimately, I don't care where students go, but I want us to have a strong college-going culture in the Gorge, and I think community college plays a big part of that. But
I'll say when you say college-going culture, do you define that as the 4-year academia, or do you define that more as higher education, whether it be trade school or whatever it might be?
Yeah, good question. Higher education, because I think there's been some narrative out there that degrees don't pay off. They absolutely pay off. On average, anybody is better off getting some kind of degree or credential. They're going to be more employable in the workplace. They hopefully are going to find also their passion and be able to work in their career of choice. And that's that's partly what we're about. So ultimately, I think higher education has the potential, and it can be community college. It can be be a 4-year. But it empowers people and to be able to do the things that they want to do and that they're skilled and trained to do.
So in trying to establish that, I think we all acknowledge that college is, I think, frankly, the high price of the 4-year institution in particular has, and then in some cases where people get their degrees and then maybe just don't find any success from them, has gotten a lot of play, a lot of attention. So how is someone who's in that business, you're in the community college business, which always has been the lower cost angle toward job creating skills for labor, for being ready to work. How do you combat that image? I mean, is it all? Does this all come down to price point, or are there some other issues here?
I think it's really complex. Really, you think about education in the Gorge. Like, there's not a lot of higher ed options here.
No, there aren't. I mean, there are some trade and apprenticeship opportunities here, but
and we're trying to grow some of those too. But ultimately, the more that if the workforce demands a trained worker, we're here to do that. And we do pay attention to, especially at the community college, to cost and to what the return on investment is. And the way we combat that, to answer your question, is partly talking to folks like you and trying to get the word out in the community and being visible and engaged in the community about what the actual benefits are. Because I don't want to oversell this, but I think there's also some misinformation going on too about the value of degrees. And not everybody will benefit 100%, but on average, it's a smart investment to get educated.
Well, I think that what that really emphasizes is the need for people as they think about this option, whether it's for themselves or for their students in high school they're about to graduate and trying to decide where you go from here. Yeah. To me, it would point out the need to really research what you are looking for to find the right fit. Because I think everybody acknowledges, the 4-year thing I went through at Washington State University, which I loved and valued, and I value it greatly, and it worked for me. But that 4-year experience, or even the 2-year experience, may not be for everybody.
True. Yeah.
And kind of making the wise decision for how you're going to invest your dollars into education. It's important to do the prep work, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I think so. And we're here also to help with advising our students. We actually made some investments. We talked about dual enrollment earlier, and kind of being close to the high schools. Well, we just hired some advisors and so on that'll be actually in the high schools to help students research. And again, it's not all about, hey, come to Columbia Gorge Community College necessarily. It's what's right for you as an individual and what your aspirations and dreams are. So, we're hoping to, like I said, I think cultivating a college-going culture is smart. The more educated communities we have, the more I think healthy and thriving we are as a community. So,
yeah, I got into the high school, the dual credits here, but you mentioned, were there other areas where maybe things were are you seeing fluctuation maybe programs? I mean, you'll have programs that they'll go up, they'll go down, and I know there's a natural fluctuation. But were there other areas you saw that this was a little softer maybe than we expected?
Yeah, no, we're seeing some trends in our enrollment that I don't think are unique to CGCC. Mostly, we're seeing more enrollment in our career and technical training programs, as opposed to those 4-year transfer programs, and that's not unique to us. I know when I talk to my sister colleges across the state, they're experiencing the same thing, which is kind of interesting for us because those programs, as you might guess, they're more costly for us to offer them because they come with a lot of one, smaller class sizes, but two, a lot of equipment costs. So our aviation maintenance program, as you can imagine, making sure we have access to high quality and kind of current equipment in the field of aviation is not cheap.
Well, I say trying to keep up with all technical. I think I think you just got here for the electro. They've changed this as time has the name also changes too. I can't even remember.
Electromechanical technology.
There you go. Thank you. I remember when it was wind turbine technology when it first really got rolling. But to keep up with the equipment for that is a really heavy lift, isn't it?
It can be, for sure. And so we do rely a lot on, and we've been very fortunate. We've been pretty aggressive, actually, with going after federal dollars. And so we've been very fortunate to get some Department of Energy grants and so forth to help fund those. And we're doing our best, too, to build strong partnerships with local industry because they have obviously an interest in making sure that their employees are going to be well-trained. And we supply a lot, especially in the wind energy and so forth.
So what are those employers in the region telling you right now what they need?
In terms of skills,
Sure.
It is kind of interesting that you asked that question because a lot of times it's actually not the technical skill as much as you would think. It's important, don't get me wrong, like they need students that have strong technical skills, but oftentimes it's also just it's the teamwork and the ability to communicate and even really basic things like discipline, like show up to time and be ready to go. So that's part, we take that seriously, those kind of human relations skills, for lack of a better word. And
because that almost makes me start to go, okay, is this, as we have generations now that have had the technology that still seem to some of us older people to you go, wow, what is this? And you're still trying to figure it out. We're now well into generations of kids who that's how they communicate. But that is also, I mean, that's what that sounds like to me is teaching some students just how to interrelate with people. And that's a different role for a college to play.
It is, and it is a thing. Like that is a common thing that we hear from employers. And again, I don't think we're unique here. I hear that from my peers.
Well, one thing about community college enrollments, though, that I was always told over the years is it was almost inverse to economics in the area. Yeah. Is that still the case where when things are good, CC enrollment isn't quite as good? When things aren't going well in the community with the economy, the people are enrolling in community college to get new skills. Is that still the case? That
is still the case. Things have been a little, I think a little turned upside down with COVID a little bit because it was such a different kind of disruption. But yeah, generally that trend is true, that we are counter-cyclical to employment level.
I know there was, and there still is probably, quite a push for increasing enrollment from the Hispanic community. How is that going?
Yeah. It's gone well. We are a Hispanic serving institution, and we're proud of that fact. 36% of our students are Hispanic.
Okay, that would reflect kind of the population of the area.
Yeah, yep. And we're trying to be really intentional about making sure all students feel like they belong at the college, regardless of their ethnic background, but also being intentional specifically around our Hispanic community, our Latina community, just because they're a big part of who we are in the Gorge, and so they need to know this is their college too, and our programs fit that. We've been, most of our programs we try and make sure that they're responsive to what our community workforce needs are, and what our economic development strategies are throughout the region. But in addition to that, we're trying to be thoughtful about how we can have programming that reflects our community too. So one of the things we're really excited about, Mark, is launching an athletics program. So
I was going to get into this. Yeah.
I think it's a great way for us not only to connect with the community, but soccer is a huge thing, and we've got a great new men's soccer coach that we've hired and an athletic director that we've hired, and so he's going to hit the ground running. I can tell he's really passionate, but it's just a great way, for the community to get connected to the college, get excited about some of the things we're doing.
And what I was going to curl that into, again, because I think you probably know, I'm the voice of the River Valley Eagles. I've done their games for 30 plus years now.
Yeah.
So I kind of know this situation. A lot of kids athletes go play, and again, you're just at the beginning of a sports program.
Yep.
A lot of kids go play elsewhere, and those are students that could have been here. Do you see athletics as being a part of the overall attraction of making graduating high schoolers in the area consider this more of an option maybe than they do?
100%. It's part of that building college-going culture. Hey, you can stay here and still pursue one of your passions, like if you're a student athlete, and continue your learning. And I think that's an important asset or feature that the college can provide to the Gorge that we haven't been so far. So we're really excited about it. It's a great way for us, like I said, to connect, and it's a great way for our student athletes to continue their education and see what their next steps are going to be.
I know you had cross country already, that's kind of gotten going. When do you expect to get, I assume both men's and women's soccer is the plan here.
For sure.
I mean, I wouldn't know why not. When do you expect those to get going?
fall 2027.
Okay, so next season.
Yeah.
Mm.
So our coach will start in November.
Yeah.
He which I totally respect his decision. He's like, I've got to finish out the season that he has currently.
Right.
So he's coming to us from another. Actually, he's from a university in the Midwest, and he's super excited to be here in the Gorge. But anyway, he joins us in November, so he'll start the recruitment cycle, and he's ready. He's already he's been on our campus. He's been here in the community some, but he'll really start ramping up recruitment in November.
Do you see it growing further from those sports? Because I think of baseball and softball here in particular that generates a ton of athletes.
You're reading our plan.
And basketball is fairly easy to do also. I'll be honest, I don't know Northwest Community College's all the sports that are in that league. I know I grew up in Eugene, so Lane was in a lot of stuff, Lane CC there. But I'm not really familiar with today what all the sports are that the colleges play in the area, the community colleges.
Right. Yeah, so most of the Oregon colleges belong to the NWAC, the Northwest Athletic Conference, and they have all, everything but football.
Right. Well,
and wrestling also is.
Okay.
And it's wrestling is offered at a few of our community colleges, but not through the NWAC.
Okay. So, but you're. How long does it take to roll out a program like this? Because obviously, money is an issue here.
Yeah. Well, our cross country has actually had some fits and starts, mostly due to making sure we have a coach. So there's been some issues there. We haven't had the infrastructure, so I think having a full-time athletic director is going to help us really figure it out. And I love sports, but I'm not an athletic director. So I know kind of what's popular in the community, but I don't really know. I need someone that's plugged in and knows what's smart for us and what's responsive to our community for what the right programming would be.
And then the other thing, though, I was going to get into with this, where do you play? Because cross country, Cirrhosis Park. That was easy. Cross country was easy. It's inexpensive, and I know. Just trying to find. Soccer, baseball, basketball. You need a gymnasium, and that space isn't easy to. I don't think you have a gymnasium at CGCC.
We don't. We do not.
So where do you go?
Yeah. So at least for fall 2027, we already have an arrangement with the North Wasco School District, so we can use their fields. I know that the fields, because we have a turf field here in Hood River, would be great to play on too. So I think we'll kind of see how the team grows and develops and what makes sense. But right now, we have a place to play, and we're excited about that, and appreciate North Wasco being willing to work with us and partner with us on that.
Before I let you get away here, probably people will be over at the school will be mad at you if you don't mention the golf tournament, even though the Founders Cup, Columbia Gorge Community College Foundation golf tournament. But you were telling me, though, it is sold out.
It's sold out. All of our slots for teams are full. So we're excited about that. It's always been a great event, great way to raise money for our students. If you missed out this time, still contact our foundation and help support our students. Financial barriers are by far one of the greatest barriers our students face to being successful. So,
and we should mention, again, registration for those who are interested. I assume cgcc.edu. Go there and you get all the details. And September 21st, I think you told me, is when
first day of class.
When classes will start for fall term.
If folks are interested in registering, I'd say contact us soon, because as I mentioned, our classes are filling up. But we'll take care of you one way or the other.
Are there particular subjects that there always are that fill up faster than others?
Yeah. In this case, which is kind of interesting for us, we actually are our math and writing classes are full, which is a good, like I said, kind of a good problem to have. So, everybody, regardless if you're in the career technical program or going to transfer, you kind of need those basic education classes. So, we're looking forward to the year and welcoming a new group of students. Yeah.
Dr. Kenneth Lawson, Columbia Gorge Community College president. Thanks for stopping by.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
8:52. We'll continue on after this.
Looking to level up your fitness game? The Power Station in Hood River is your one-stop spot for strength, sweat, and now indoor pickleball. Yup, is it too hot, too cold, too windy, or crowded? The Power Station has a state-of-the-art indoor pickleball court, perfect for all-weather play, lessons, training, and play with your group. Whether you're crushing weights or dinking at the net, the Power Station keeps you moving strong. Learn more and book your court time now at powerstationhr.com, where Hood River trains and plays.
Did you know Skyline Health in White Salmon has its very own sports medicine doc superstar? That's right. Dr. Ryan Petering trained at OHSU, cared for professional Nike athletes, and even spent more than 15 years teaching other doctors how it's done. From sporting injuries to arthritis, he's here to help you move better, feel stronger, and keep doing the things you love. Want to live life to its fullest? Step right up and visit myskylinehealth.org. Skyline Health, world-class care right here at home.
Coffee for Mid-Columbia Today guests is provided by Hood River Coffee Roasters, the Gorge's local coffee roasters, on Tucker Road on the Heights in Hood River.
It is 8:54 in the morning on Mid-Columbia Today. I've got one more break, right? Okay. Just wanted to acknowledge real quick, I'm sure you heard the story that we had a day or two ago. Unfortunately, actually on Highway 197, and a 21-year-old man from Dufur was killed in that. Also, a 35-year-old woman from the Dalles was seriously injured. But I'm going to bring this up because I did not realize this in writing the story. Actually, I need to credit Columbia Community Connection. Actually, I read this, and I'm bringing it up because there's a common thread here. I never met this young man. His name was Cameron Bostic. Played for the Dufur Rangers, which means he played for a terrific football program with Jack Henderson, who I've known for a while, and his the 8-man football guru of the state of Oregon, as far as I'm concerned, and he has the state titles to prove it. But what I did not realize was this young man actually was an aspiring sportscaster. He actually has been doing the games since graduating. He's been involved in the Dufur High School broadcasts on another outlet in our area, Y102. Nothing wrong with saying it. And our friend Shannon Milburn there and doing the games. And so it hit home a little bit because, I never met the young man, but obviously being behind the play-by-play mic for 4 decades, I've gotten to see Dufur some through my work with the OSA Radio Network on some football playoffs. I have done some Dufur games, but I don't get to see them a lot because I'm obviously doing the Hood River Valley games on Friday nights. But there is that community with people who do that, who are play-by-play announcers and involved in broadcasting games. You develop this little community where everybody is, you feel connected. So I wanted to acknowledge this. And condolences, obviously, to the folks out in Dufur, that close-knit community, and to the folks at Gorge Country Media as well, and Shannon. Boy, you hate stories like this. You just hate them. It's unfortunate. Sounds like he really had the interest in sports, and there was some promise there. I just wanted to acknowledge that as a member of the Gorge broadcasting community, as a leader in the sportscasting community in the state of Oregon. I just wanted to mention that, and again, send out the condolences. 8:57, we'll wrap it up after this.
Tune in weekday mornings at 8:05 and keep up with community events and issues with the Mid-Columbia Today Show on Mid-Columbia's news leaders, 98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR. Special thanks to our sponsors, Skyline Hospital and Del Carpine Automotive.
A reminder again, what we got during the show, the Hood River White Salmon Bridge Authority completed its geotechnical exploration near the Washington shoreline ahead of schedule. All remaining overnight bridge closures scheduled for August and September have been canceled. So the Hood River White Salmon Bridge will be running freely from this point forward for the foreseeable future. I know there'll be something else down the road. There always is, isn't there? We know that. You know that. I know that. But, at least for this stretch, they got through. There are a bunch scheduled the next 3 weeks. That apparently are no longer going to be needed. So good news there. Good news on that. Tomorrow, Eric Bosler will join us from Central Gorge Master Gardeners, and we're done. I have nothing else to say. For Cameron Eisenberg, I'm Mark Bailey. Talk to you again on Friday.
Columbia Today Show is a public affairs presentation of Bicoastal Media Columbia River. The views expressed on the program are not necessarily those of the station, parent company, or of the sponsors. We welcome your suggestions for future shows. Call us at 541-386-1511. Listen to Mid-Columbia Today where you want. Follow or subscribe to Mid-Columbia Today wherever you download your podcast to get the show delivered every day to your mobile device.